What's going on YouTube? This is ParkerLad88 coming at you with another video, and in this video we're going to be doing a revised character breakdown for none other than the Whoosh Man himself, Trey of Triforia. We're going to be running through the move list, doing some combos, and then I'm going to talk about a game plan for Trey. So let's go ahead and get started. So, if you guys like what you see in this video, consider checking out my social media links in the description. You can check me out on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/ParkerLad88. You can check me out on X at ParkerLad2. Join the Whoosh Clan if you have Discord. With your entry into the Whoosh Clan will grow ever stronger. And if you want to do just a little bit more to support me, consider checking out my Cash App. Once again, all links in the description. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. And of course, we will get started by talking about mobility. When it comes to mobility, Trey is going to be another one of those characters that has a built-in run into his forward walking animation. That means if you've never played a fighting video game before, you already have a small leg up when it comes to mobility while you're getting used to some of the more advanced mobility techniques of this game. His backwards walking animation, as you can see, is pretty average. Not too slow, not too fast. Let's go ahead and start talking about his dashes now. His dashes are a very interesting bag because you can see he has a little bit of startup to his dash, but the trade-off for this is that he covers a lot more distance compared to some of the other cast members when it comes to this. In about 2 dashes, I'm already right next to my opponent. And this is also the same thing for his back dashes as well. So that is something that Trey actually does have something going for him. Wave dash is pretty much non-existent, and this is pretty much as a result, as I mentioned before, of that startup that he has with his dash. I truthfully think that his attack dash is the way to go. I can't do this particularly fast because I find if I do it too fast, then I will end up actually getting buttons out of it, but I found that this is the pace that pretty much works for me, and in combination with how far Trey travels with his dashes, you really don't actually need to press it that fast. So I think this is definitely the way to go when it comes to mobility with Trey. Moving into his jumps, you can see his jumps are pretty average. Not too floaty, not too shallow, doesn't cover too much distance, pretty average. His dash jumps, another mixed bag. You can see here that his dash jump is actually pretty shallow. He's not going to be one of those characters who's going to full screen jump on you when you actually do his dash. But the trade-off is that because he is so low to the ground whenever he does do it, this can actually make him a lot trickier to anti-air compared to other characters who have much floatier dash jumps. Now, with everything that I've talked about so far, you would probably think that Trey's mobility is somewhere around the average range. It might be a little bit above, it might be a little bit below, depending on what you're looking for when it comes to mobility in your characters. But Trey is actually one of the most mobile characters that you can actually play in this game. Why is that? Because of the whoosh. This is one of Trey's main special moves, and it's pretty much what defines his playstyle, but because of the way that he can actually mix up his whooshes, this can actually make him very tricky to anti-air, and it makes his approach very unpredictable when it comes to you defending against him. Because of how he can mix this up, because of the assorted directions that he can go, he can kind of make you second guess yourself whenever you're going to try to anti-air him, so that is something that you have to be aware of when you are fighting against a Trey player. So, if I had to rate his mobility, I'd probably say it's about a 4.5. Not exactly perfect because Trey does have to go forward before he goes anywhere else with his whooshes. But the sheer amount of flexibility that you do have with his whooshes, that's why Trey is one of the most mobile characters that you can play. Moving into normal-based attacks, we have Standing Light. We have Crouching Light, which you can rapid fire. We have Standing Medium. Crouching Medium. This is going to be an OTG. Standing Heavy, and Crouching Heavy for your launcher. Moving into command normals, we have 4 with medium. That leads into this side kick. When Trey connects, it leads into a wall bounce, as you can see, which you can follow up with your Crouching Medium for combos. Moving into aerial normals, we have Air Light. We have Air Medium. This is going to be your cross-up as well. If I can actually hit it. One more time. There we go. Air Heavy. And that does it for all of Trey's aerial normals. Now, when it comes to normals that you'll be using the most with Trey, on the ground, Trey doesn't really have a whole lot to work with. You have that Crouching Light. It does hit low. It's rapid fireable, good for hit confirms, good for block strings, things like that. So you can't go wrong there. But other than that, what does Trey really have to work with? Well, he does have that forward medium for that side kick. It's got good range, so you can actually throw it out, snipe your opponent with it. It leads into that wall bounce for full combo. But another thing is that this move is actually plus on block, and pretty plus on block at that. I'm actually going to see if I can get other Trey to help me out with this. As you can see, I'm trying to mash light in that situation, and my light loses to the other Treys standing heavy after doing that kick. So you have the best of both worlds in this situation. You throw it out, your opponent blocks it, it's still your turn, and if you hit, then you get full combo. So that's actually a pretty good button you're going to be using with Trey. Now, when it comes to aerial buttons, you have your pick of the litter here between your medium and your heavy. I like going with the medium because it's a good jump in, it's a good cross up. In addition to that, in combination with your air special, you can get a really quick cross up as well, as you can see right there. So that is my preferred button of choice. So once again, in review, you can't go wrong with the forward medium. Crouching light is pretty good, and then air medium is my go-to jump in. All right, let's go ahead and move into throw. You can combo from this. As you can see, we'll talk more about that later. Back throw. EX. And of course we have super. Let's talk a little bit more about Trey's super. Trey will call in Pyramidas, and Pyramidas will rain down these lightning bolts from the sky in a staggered fashion, which you can cash out for big damage. They will always hit in this fashion. You'll have the first hit of lightning bolts, which will just hit the opponent. You'll have the second hit, which causes a small capture state, and then you'll have a third hit that causes a big capture state. Now, one caveat to this is that Trey's super can be kind of volatile depending on what kind of character you're fighting. Against female characters, it might cause a wall bounce. On some other characters, it might cause a wall bounce. You just have to really be paying attention to what's happening whenever you actually hit somebody with this super. Because if you do just throw out the super, Trey is mobile during this super, so you can actually get hit confirms if you connect with the super, in addition to cashing out for damage. Now, because Trey is mobile, in addition to his whooshes with the super, this can lead to some very tricky mix-ups with Trey. He has a lot of control over the screen with what he can do in this situation, so you do want to keep that in mind. And this is only limited by your imagination. So the more creative you think that you can be with the super, the more you'll be getting out of it. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the game plan. Moving into special moves, we're going to start with neutral special. As you can see here, when you press neutral special, Trey will raise his staff into the sky and then he'll start firing projectiles toward the opponent. You can do this up to 3 times before you have to charge again, which is pretty cool. You can use it to help start getting things on the screen, to start a zoning war, and they actually have pretty good projectile durability as well. Not too bad, right? Unfortunately, this isn't going to be the best zoning tool for you, mostly because of how long it takes for you to charge these projectiles. It's very easily telegraphed and can lead into full screen jump in situations with Trey. And the fact that it does have that slow startup, meaning that from positions like this, Trey's not going to be able to counter zone. As you can see, he'll just end up getting shot out of it. Now, I'm going to attempt to call in the other Trey, so he can kind of help me demonstrate the other part of this. And I'm actually going to switch to Daishi, since Daishi has a better dash jump. Alright, so we're in a full screen situation like this. And that is the problem right there. Once again, we're going to go for a full screen situation. And that is the big problem with this move. When you see the big flash, that is your cue to jump in on Trey, and there isn't anything that he can do about it. So you're not going to be winning any zoning wars with this move, unfortunately.
You're not supposed to be.
But you can use it to help set up some of your other moves. One thing that I actually like to do is in a situation where my opponent is not trying to start a zoning war, I'll start firing the projectiles off and use it to go into some of his other special moves, because he can actually cancel his back special and forward special out of this move as well. I'll also use it to set up Pyramidas. So those are some things that this is good for. So It's not the worst special move, it's not the best special move. It just kind of has some very niche situations that you use it for. So do keep those in mind whenever you are using the neutral special. Let's move into Trey's next special move, and that is going to be back special. When you press back with special, Trey will do this lunging maneuver with 2 kicks. I just call this the Captain Kick because it looks like Captain Commando's Captain Kick. Let's talk about the properties of this move. This move does go full screen, which is pretty cool. You can actually get combos off of it as well. Also pretty cool. The fact that it does go full screen means that if your opponent's not paying attention, you can just throw this out behind assist to see if you can catch something and go full combo from there. You can also use it to catch backdashes as well if your opponent's not paying attention. So pretty cool stuff for this move. It's actually not bad as an option off a push block either. If I can get Mastodon Sentry to help me out. As you can see, that is an option that you can explore as well. Now, all this stuff, once again, sounds good on paper, but very similar to the neutral special, it does have some drawbacks, and it is related to the speed. Because it takes Trey some time to get started up here, it's very easy to hit him out of this before he actually connects with the opponent, because this doesn't have any projectile durability or invincibility either. Let's get Mastodon Sentry to help me out one more time. So that's an issue that you run into. One more time. So, as you can see, no projectile invulnerability, and it's kind of slow in the startup. So even if you wanted to try and catch somebody, it's really easy, once again, to hit him out of it. So this is a very, once again, niche move, just like the neutral special. You mostly use this in combos. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use it. I think it's just best utilized whenever you actually have an assist online with it, because once again, you have that covered. So even if your opponent does hit you, they still have to worry about the assist. So just do keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and move into Trey's last 2 special moves since they work together. And of course, we will start with that forward special, and that is going to be the Gold Rush, or just simply put, the whoosh. Now, when you initiate the whoosh, Trey will rush towards his opponent, and from this, you have any number of things that you can do just based off the situation. Let's start with on hit, since it's the easiest one. You can press the special button again to initiate a capture state. Really great for those combo opportunities. But in addition to this, Trey gets access to a whole myriad of possibilities when it comes to mobility, and we'll talk about what those options are right now. Let's say that you want to reestablish some neutral. Your opponent blocked your initial whoosh, or you just didn't trust your whoosh when it hit. So Trey's an option for that. You can actually whoosh away from your opponent by pressing back special after the forward special. Let's say you want to try and go for some mix. Well, Trey is an option for that as well. Trey can actually whoosh into the air by pressing the up special after forward special. Trey also gets access to air actions from this as well. He can do air light, air medium, air heavy, and of course, air special, which is a downwards whoosh. And Trey can get all these options out of a backwards whoosh as well. Very cool stuff. If this wasn't enough though, Trey also gets access to air whooshes as well. So, after you do the up special, while you're in the air, you can go forward special or back special. And then you can also combine that with your downwards whoosh as well. And Trey, once again, can get these options off of his backwards whoosh as well. For a lot of whoosh power. Trey can whoosh about 3 to 5 times depending on how you're feeling in any given situation. And the last and most important thing about Trey's whooshes is that they are projectile invincible. Really great for those more zony matchups. Now, getting used to these whooshes, Trey can actually approach you from a number of different angles. So like for instance, you get access to full screen cross-ups. You can also do like full screen jump-ins as well when you're at the right distance. Pretty cool stuff. Being able to mix up all these things, it's really going to help in your approach with Trey, and it's really going to keep your opponent guessing. You can also combine this with assists for some neat sandwich opportunities. Pretty cool stuff. Now that we're done going over special moves, let's go ahead and move into Trey's assist. And naturally, Trey's assist is going to be his whoosh. More specifically, it's going to be the second part of his whoosh, where Trey runs through you and causes that capture state, which is really great for your point character as far as following up for combos. Now, Trey's assist is a very unique assist. Base value, just as an assist in terms of establishing pressure, giving coverage to your characters, Trey's assist isn't really going to be utilized so much for that. Because as you can see, if your opponent blocks, there's so little block stun, and he has such a long recovery period that he's really easy to punish. So he's not an assist that you want to throw out willy-nilly like that. But Trey's assist is unique in several ways. Trey is a kind of more rushdown centered mixed up character, and as we talked about in his normal options aren't really that great. His neutral presence isn't really there. But if you have your point character set him up for this, then it allows Trey to get in there and establish some mix-ups, which is really great. The other thing that Trey's assist is good for is the fact that he runs in there. When you combine him with other characters who have overheads, it can set up for hard to blockable situations or unblockable situations. I will attempt to give you guys kind of an example of something you can do. You can kind of call out Trey's assist, go for an overhead, and then tag into him and go for a low. Really tricky to block, or if you time it right, you can actually go for an unblockable setup. You can go for something like that. Now, I personally am not the best at setting those up, but that kind of gives you guys an example of some things that you can do with Trey. So I really think Trey's assist is best utilized to kind of give him cover as he is coming in, so you can use other characters that have a better neutral presence than him to set up Trey for his mix-up and his offense. Now that we're done talking about assists, let's go ahead and move into combos. And of course, we will start with auto combo number 1 with lights, auto combo number 2 with mediums, and auto combo number 3 with your heavies. Now, per tradition, I'll start by doing the fully completed combo with number notation. For those of you who are more experienced at the game, just want to see what the combos look like and what the inputs are, that'll be there for you. But for those of you who prefer my normal combo structure of how I break down combos, we'll be doing that as well. So with that, we're going to get started with, let's call it an intermediate-ish level combo for Trey. Alright, let's go ahead and start breaking down this first intermediate combo for Trey. So of course we started with our air heavy, moving into standing medium, into heavy auto combo. We'll then be able to follow up with a medium auto combo from there. This will lead into a wall bounce state. We'll have time to run over to our opponent and then OTG them with our crouching medium. After the crouching medium, we'll cancel that into our back special, the captain kick. So this is kind of what you'll have so far. We'll just take it from the medium, from the heavy auto combo. Run up, OTG, into captain kick. Now, after we do that captain kick, we'll recover and then do another medium auto combo. This will put the opponent in a hard knockdown state. We'll have time to run over. We'll do crouching medium canceled into the whoosh. We'll do the capture state. We'll then follow up with another forward medium for that hard knockdown state, since we've already used the wall bounce that we did at the beginning of the combo. We'll then do that again into another crouching medium into a whoosh for the capture state. We get 2 capture states with Trey, just normal combo-wise in his combos. We'll then follow up with another forward medium for the hard knockdown. Yes, Trey gets a lot of OTGs and hard knockdowns. You're going to hear that a lot. And then we're going to cancel that into super. So I know that was like a lot of talking, so I'll run that back. So, now, after you do that forward medium, you will then cancel that straight into super. This is probably the only real difficult part of this combo that you have to get used to, because the thing about Trey's super is that it's very volatile. Trey super is very volatile, where it, throws the opponent, depending on the characters that you are fighting against. It's different against female characters, lightweight characters, heavyweight, just everything. So you have to really keep a lookout for what's going on. But coming after that medium auto combo, just as an example, so I'm just going to move out of the way of the super. This is the situation you'll get. Now, after you do the super, when you see them way up in the sky like that, you have to time another forward medium to put them in that hard knockdown state. After that, we will then do a crouching medium into launcher. You'll just do a quick cancel, crouching medium into launcher, slight delay, and then go for the EX. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about super. So you saw them really high in the sky, right? The timing for actually being able to do Trey's forward medium after super when they're that high is if you look really closely, you will notice that there is kind of like a frame drop, right? You'll notice that the opponent kind of stutters a little bit before they fall. And that'll happen probably twice, and that's the timing cue that you want to use in order to land that forward medium. After you will, and it's going to take a little bit of practice to get used to it. If I could set it up more consistently in this combo for you guys, I definitely would. But just go back and look at the completed combo. I'll try to actually zoom in so you can actually see the stuttering, so it might look a little weird. But anyway, I'll zoom in so you can kind of see the stuttering, but that's going to be your tell to prepare to do your forward medium so you can complete the combo. And so that's really the most difficult part of this combo. The rest of it, as you saw, is pretty straightforward. You just have to get used to the timing of doing the medium auto combo after captain kick, and then after the heavy auto combo as well. And you guys should be good to go for this combo. So, if you've done everything correctly, you should have something that looks a little like this. So we're going to move out of the way, let the super rock. Slight delay on the EX after launcher. So as you can see, it's a little volatile. When we initially did the combo, you saw that they were up in the air. This time, they did the wall bounce. So you really have to pay attention to that. But anyway, that should do it for this intermediate combo. Once again, look out for that stutter. That's going to be your tell to do that forward medium for the hard knockdown. Let's go ahead and start moving into our more advanced stuff. When it comes to comboing with Trey, the main things we have to know how to combo from are going to be the forward medium, the captain kick, forward throw, and of course super. Now the good news for Trey's combo is that Trey's combos for all these conversions barring throw are going to be exactly the same. So if you can do one of these, you can do them all. We'll talk about forward throw, but let's go ahead and get into our first bread and butter combo. Alright, let's go ahead and start breaking down this first bread and butter combo for Trey. I wanted to show you guys this situation in the mid-screen to demonstrate that because of Trey's corner carry, this combo is possible no matter where you are on the screen. This will be your conversion. We'll start with our air heavy. We'll go into standing medium, into heavy auto combo. We'll then follow up with the medium auto combo. We will then go into our crouching medium, canceled into captain kick. So all that, just like the intermediate combo, here's where we start getting into the advanced stuff and the first thing that you'll actually want to practice. So, as opposed to doing medium auto combo, we'll do the first two hits of medium auto combo, into standing heavy, canceled into captain kick. Now, this part is going to be kind of difficult to explain, but I will attempt to. Because of how finicky Trey's, the speed of Trey's captain kick is in combination with the distance that it goes, is that you need your opponent to be at just the right height to make sure the captain kick will hit so you can proceed to do the captain kick loops. If you just mash out the first two hits of medium auto combo into heavy, the opponent will be too high and you'll end up missing the captain kick. You'll either end up being too late, you'll go under the opponent, something like that. So the way that I would explain this is that you have to be kind of precise with your button inputs. You definitely want to just, wolf on that medium button for the first two hits of medium auto combo, right? But you might want to do a slight delay with the heavy so that you'll actually hit the captain kick afterwards. So I'll set up these scenarios for you. So let's talk about if we just mash the buttons out with captain kick, so I can show you what happens if you end up missing it. So taking it from the medium, we'll just do forward medium just to set up for the wall bounce. That's what'll happen if you just wolf the buttons out. Trey will fly under the opponent and you'll miss the combo. So what you need to do is put just a slight delay between the second hit of the medium auto combo and the heavy to make sure that hits. Once again, let's work on setting that up. And that's what you guys are going to want to look for. Just a small delay. Something like, it's really hard to see, but you see that? Just a small delay to make sure that you're setting up for the loops. And this is going to be the start of the Captain Kick loops. Now, after you do your first Captain Kick, you will then go into Crouching Light. You have to wait, and then go into the Crouching Light. From there, you will then do the first 2 hits of medium auto combo again, into a slightly delayed heavy, into Captain Kick. And then once again, you will do Crouching Light, and then you'll end it with the medium auto combo again. By this time, you'll either be at the left or right side of the corner, and we can actually go into the next part of the combo. But this is the first part that you will want to practice. So let's go ahead and actually work on that. So the setup for this is going to be your forward medium, and we'll go through the rest. So for the next part of this combo, we'll do a Crouching Medium OTG into Forward Special Special for that capture state. We will do a Forward Medium for that hard knockdown. Then we'll do another Crouching Medium. We have 2 launchers per combo, right? So as opposed to doing just 2 reps of Crouching Medium Forward Special Special, for the second time, you'll do Crouching Medium Launcher, and you'll delay that into Forward Special Special. Just like that. There's quite a bit of delay. You have to be patient on this one. You have a lot of time. It looks like they're going to drop. They're not going to drop. Just, you know, patience. And then you'll follow that up with another forward medium. This will set up the next most difficult part of this combo after the Captain Kick loops, and that'll be the whoosh loops. And here's what we're going to do for the whoosh loops. So we'll do another Crouching Medium. We'll cancel that directly into our first whoosh with the Forward Special. We will then do up special to go into the air, and then we'll do forward special again. So you'll get this. That's what you want. All of these will connect with the opponent. Now, you will then whiff a heavy, because Trey gets air actions out of his air whoosh, whether you do it before or afterwards. We'll whiff the air heavy, meaning that it won't connect with the opponent. Just like that. The reason why we do this is because when you do the air whoosh with the heavy, this puts Trey actually below the opponent. The reason why we need to do this is because we need to touch the ground before the opponent and initiate another set of whooshes going forward, up, and then forward. So we do that twice. We do that twice. Now, the third set, we'll do forward, up. The heavy will connect for that ground bounce since we haven't used that yet, and then we'll do that into our forward medium for another hard knockdown state. Have you guys gotten tired of hearing that? So let me set this up for you guys so you can see what this looks like. Make sense? So the timing for initiating the whoosh when you're actually on the ground is pretty quick. So after we whiff that heavy, the time to initiate again is actually pretty quick, and it's going to be weird because you're not going to do it based off of, oh, you hit the opponent. This is kind of like a muscle memory thing. You just have to get used to the time at which you do it, and you do it pretty early. I will demonstrate it again. I will set up the part where you do the first one. And that's pretty much what you want. So do you see how fast I did that? That is going to be what you're going to do. And those are the 2 most difficult parts of this combo. If you can do the intermediate combo, then it's going to, the last part of this combo is going to be the same. You'll do Pyramidas. You'll wait for the stutter. You'll delay the EX after the launcher. We'll use our second launcher here to maximize our damage. We do that slight delay of the EX after launcher, and that's pretty much how the combo works. So, things to practice. First thing is going to be setting up those Captain Kick loops. You'll want to do a smidgen of a delay between the medium auto combo first 2 hits and the heavy to set up your Captain Kick loops, and then after Captain Kick, going into your Crouching Light. Those are going to be the main things you'll want to practice while you're doing your Captain Kick loops. And then, of course, we have the setup for the whoosh loops. And those are the two parts. So, if you have done everything correctly, you should have something that kind of looks like this. And that's what you guys should get. So this is going to be the same combo conversion that you will do from forward medium, captain kick, and from super. We don't have to talk about it because the combo is exactly the same. Let me go ahead and just demonstrate it for you guys, just so you guys can see what it looks like. Alright, so now that we have those demonstrations out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about our final combo, and that is going to be comboing from throw. So let's go ahead and start talking about this forward throw combo conversion for Trey. So you can do whooshes after you do forward throw. And so after you do the forward throw and recover, you'll want to do a forward whoosh, an upwards whoosh, a forward whoosh in the air, and then you'll come back down to the ground with special to set up for your medium auto combo. You want to make sure the opponent is about here before you start doing your whooshes, because if they're any lower, then the other ones might not connect. You'll get a situation kind of like that. So you'll do your delayed medium auto combo, staggers between all the hits, and this will set up for your captain kick loops, and you'll do them just like you did in the other combos. Now, the only difference in this is that because you're using more juggle limit meter, whenever you go for your last rep, as opposed to doing medium auto combo, what you'll do instead is you'll go for that crouching light, you'll go standing medium, and then you'll go into forward medium, and then this will set up the rest of the combo. So let's go ahead and demonstrate that part once again. So this is pretty much where we are. This is the first difference. So you saw I did crouching light on my last rep of the Captain Kick loops, crouching light, standing medium into the forward medium. So we're leaving out one hit just to make sure our opponent doesn't flip out before we get that hard knockdown state. Now, the good news about this part of the combo is that if you found a little bit of challenge with the whoosh loops that we do in the corner, because we already do one set of whoosh loops after the forward throw, that means that we only can do another set, because if we do two sets after that, the opponent will flip out once we actually put them in the air and do like another whoosh in the air. So you'll do one rep in the corner of going forward, up, forward in the air, whiffing the heavy, and then from there, we'll just go forward, up, heavy, connect for the ground bounce, and then we'll do the forward medium afterwards for that hard knockdown state. So I will demonstrate that part. That is pretty much what you will have. And then, of course, you will finish up just as you did with the other combos we practiced, where you would do super, you'll OTG with crouching medium into launcher, then do a delayed EX, just as we've done before. So if you're able to do the things that you've done in the previous combo, you should be able to do this one. You're just kind of mixing up where you are doing or how you're separating your whoosh loops. And then the only other thing to keep in mind is, because we have a quicker maxed out juggle limit, we'll do a crouching light, standing medium into that forward medium on our last rep of the Captain Kick loops. So if you've done everything correctly, you should have something that kind of looks like this. And that's what you guys should get. And that'll do it for all the combos that I'll be demonstrating in today's video. Now that we're done going through combos, let's go ahead and move on to Trey's game plan. And if you have not figured it out by now, Trey is a high mobility rushdown mix-up character. He's all about utilizing his whooshes in combination with assists in order to not only mix up how he approaches the opponent, but also how he mixes up the opponent as well. The key to mastering Trey is going to be mastering the art of the whoosh. You want to utilize the power of the whoosh to its fullest. And the way you're going to do this is literally just by whooshing. You need to be as comfortable as you can with all of Trey's movement techniques, getting used to all the different directions that he can whoosh in, and doing that continuously. And once you can do that continuously, then you'll be doing a great job with Trey, and you'll really become comfortable with being able to whoosh with Trey and mix up the opponent. It's going to look a lot like you have no idea what you're doing, you're just making stuff up, but you really know what you're doing. But the more comfortable you are with Trey's whooshing before you stop, the better that you will be. From there, you can work on being more controlled with Trey's movements. It's really just all about getting used to it at first. So you're whooshing around like this, right? And then once you're comfortable with that, you can actually throw in some projectiles, you can throw in some assist, and you can actually work on using just your basic mobility in combination with that. You know, you might just want to go for like a normal jump in, do a whoosh afterwards, you can cross over to the other side. Mixing that up with doing your whooshes, like, you know, going for like full screen cross-ups, things like that, that is going to be your key. The second key is going to be Pyramidas. While Trey doesn't have a lot of great neutral options, Pyramidas is one of the best for Trey. Trey has about 2 or 3 seconds of I just control the screen and I can do whatever I want. And the best thing about it is that even if you actually hit Trey when he does Pyramidas, the first hit of the lightning bolt will still come down, and if you are quick enough, you can actually still get a combo conversion from that. There'll be sometimes maybe where you do not call Pyramidas out the right time, your opponent hits you, but that lightning bolt will still come down and it will save you. Your opponent will have to respect that first one. But it's just one more thing that your opponent has to look out for. And the more creative you are with Pyramidas, the better you will be at opening up your opponents with Trey. One of the best things to do is when you actually kill a character, is to call in Pyramidas. This perv limits your opponent's options of doing EX on the ground. Pyramidas is supposed to come in. This is an outlier. It limits your opponent's options on the ground of doing things like EX. It limits them on incoming, like pressing a button. This gives you a lot of control. In combination with your assist, for instance, you can actually tag in other characters. You can use that to go for things like overheads, lows, throws, all kinds of things. So the better you are at utilizing Pyramidas outside of in combos, the better with Trey you are going to be. So always look for opportunities when you have 2 bars to utilize Pyramidas, whether you're doing it on incoming, whether you need it just to establish some neutral. Pyramidas really gives Trey a lot of flexibility when it comes to his neutral options. So once again, if you are mastering the whoosh power, the art of the whoosh, and utilizing Pyramidas along with your assist, I think that you will be doing a great job with Trey. And that'll do it for this character breakdown featuring Trey. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Once again, if you like what I do here, consider giving me a follow on one of my social media platforms. Once again, all those links are in the description, and I'll be back to you later with future videos. This is Parker Lad, and I will see you guys next time.